She came back wearing the scent of what I used to be. Not a woman, not flesh, but memory with hips, a mouthful of smoke, and the eyes of every mistake I never learned from. My future was upstairs, breathing soft beneath the duvet we chose together. She was full of light, of warm hands and clean hope, but I let the past in anyway, let her peel off my promises, like a second skin. She didn't knock. She bled through the seams of my thoughts, all curve and venom, a ghost made of hunger and old songs I swore I'd stopped singing. She said nothing, just dragged her fingers down my chest, like she was reading a scripture she'd written. I didn't stop her. I opened myself, like a wound that never wanted to close. Her mouth was a grave I climbed back into, hard and breathless, hoping to bury the man I've become. My future was upstairs. She believed in me. But belief isn't enough when memory opens its legs and says, "Remember how it felt to be ruined?" I took her, the past, like she was punishment, and I was ready to pay. Flesh met flesh like a car crash. We didn't fuck, we relapsed. Our bodies moved like old storms remembering how to break. She rode me with eyes closed, like she was somewhere between regret and worship. I gripped her hips like I could hold time still, but it was already slipping, already whispering that I'd have to return to the man who made promises to someone upstairs. This wasn't desire, it was compulsion, a ritual made in motel lighting, with her breath hot in my mouth, like stolen fire, and my name moaned in a voice that still lived beneath my ribs. After, we didn't speak. Just silence, just sweat cooling on skin that didn't belong to each other anymore. She smiled with teeth like knives and said, "You'll come back. You always do." I crept back into bed smelling of ghosts and guilt. My future stirred against my chest and whispered, "You feel cold." I kissed her hair and said nothing, because when the past opens her mouth, I crawl in like I belong there. When they write about me, I hope they don't say I was unfaithful. I hope they say he was haunted by a hunger he mistook for need, and by the time he realized the difference, it had already eaten him whole. Behind the lines, this poem is a haunting portrait of self-sabotage, framed through the intimate lens of temptation and memory. It takes the quote, "Stop cheating on your future, with your past it's over," and turns it into a living, breathing experience. Not just a metaphor, but a full-body relapse into who you used to be. The past isn't just remembered here. She walks in, touches skin, and ruins everything you were trying to rebuild. And the worst part is, you let her. The speaker is torn between two versions of himself. The one who is trying to build a future, and the one who still craves what once destroyed him. His future is soft, real, trusting. She is upstairs full of belief and warmth, but belief doesn't protect you from the past when the past knows how to seduce you with your own history. The past shows up not as a threat, but as something familiar. And sometimes that familiarity is enough to make you forget who you promised to become. What makes this poem so powerful is that it doesn't lie. It doesn't pretend the choice was made in confusion. It admits that it was a ritual, a compulsion, a moment of knowingly walking back into ruin because it felt easier than staying whole. There is no love in this act, only ache, only the hollow pull of something that feels like home but never was. The language is vivid and unforgiving. The past is not soft. She is a ghost with hips, a grave with a mouth, a voice that still lives under the ribs. And when the speaker gives in, it is not romance, it is relapse. Two people colliding like wreckage, not lovers but echoes of an old disaster. When it's over, there is no peace, just sweat, silence, and a future still sleeping upstairs, unaware. The speaker returns, full of guilt, unable to speak, because there are no words for a betrayal like this, one not born out of lust but out of habit, out of hunger mistaken for need, out of a longing to feel something that once felt real, even if it always came with pain. This poem is for anyone who has looked their progress in the eye and still turned away, for anyone who has returned to what hurt them because healing felt too quiet. It is not an excuse, it is an admission, and it leaves you with one devastating truth: that by the time you realize the past was never what you needed, it may already be too late.